Well, the final results of that national vote will be announced in the city of Manchester, which is in northern England. The area itself voted less strongly than expected to remain in the European Union. 60% of the people there opted to remain. Well, Labour MP Gisela Stewart has been speaking in Manchester, addressing concerns of EU leaders about what the Leave vote means for them. Here's what she had to say.
What I've just said is to make clear to all our colleagues in Europe that Britain is an open society, it is a welcoming society, and we will continue to be cooperating with European countries on an international level. But it's an important decision about our future, and it's about the people who have taken that decision. It wasn't about us, the politicians, because this referendum has really been fought against the backdrop of all the might of the institutions and of money. The people were given the impression that they had no choice but to remain, but they voted to leave. I think it is now incumbent on all of us to be very calm, remember that our responsibility is to the future of the United Kingdom, and work together to start a process, because this is simply the beginning of a process of initiating leaving the European Union. And in the long run, I think we will find that both Europe and the United Kingdom will emerge stronger as a result of this. Thank you very much.
All right, reaction on the Brexit vote beginning to come in. All right, let's bring in our Duncan Crawford. He's in Manchester. He's at the main results center. Duncan, now we said that the national vote will be declared from where you are. When do you expect it?
The million-pound question, isn't it? And I'm really sorry I can't be too exact about it, because the officials inside Manchester Town Hall there saying, we're not going to tell you, you've just got to wait and be patient. Some people speculating it could be in the next hour or two, some saying it could be later in the day, and that's because, particularly with the bad weather yesterday in the south of England, where there was some disruption at polling stations, some actually had to be closed and they were switched to different venues. If just one ballot box has, for whatever reason, taken longer to get to a certain counting venue, and that one box hasn't been counted, and that delays the whole process, if those votes aren't tallied up and then the results sent to here, to Manchester, then the whole final announcement is delayed. But obviously we already know which way it's going to go. A hugely momentous occasion for the UK and for the European Union, for that matter. British voters, 52% to 48%, have voted in favour of leaving the European Union, and it will have huge economic and political consequences for this country and for Europe as well.
Now, Duncan, now you're at the brains of all this operation. You mentioned it being a command center. What's the mood there like now?
Well, for Leave supporters, a mood of huge joy and happiness. There aren't many from the In campaign, from the Remain campaign, who have stuck around by the looks of it inside those corridors. It's just Leave campaigners celebrating, ecstatically happy that they've managed to pull this off. You played a soundbite earlier on of Gisela Stewart, the Labour MP, prominent Leave campaigner. She was involved in some of the television debates. Well, she was on stage, right here in Manchester Town Hall. She also made a few other comments talking about how this vote, this result, is a reflection of democracy at work, saying it means that the UK will be able to take back control from Brussels, and she called for cross-party talks, cross-party consensus to try and deal with the fallout from this. It is going to be extremely complicated to try and extrapolate the UK from more than 40 years of EU legislation to ensure that trade deals and so on can be made with different countries, as opposed to the UK being part of a wider EU trade negotiations with different nations. All these things, these technicalities, will need to be sorted out. The actual process for that would only happen, though, after Article 50, as it's known, of the Lisbon Treaty is invoked, which would formally mean Britain would leave the European Union those negotiations, which would start after Article 50 is invoked, would last for 2 years. So that gives you some idea of the timescale involved, of how complicated this will be. But for the atmosphere in here, they don't care about it being complicated. They're just celebrating, and they'll be celebrating long into the morning.
All right, Duncan Crawford live for us in Manchester, England. Thank you for that update.